Well, I heard Kevin mention 5 days, so you've been on the phone for 5 days. I'm assuming you've made this decision not in the last 24 hours. When did you decide to run for Congress?
It's something that I had been thinking about for several months. However, I was not in a position to make a decision during the legislative session. I was doing the work that I was elected to do, which is serving in the legislature. And after the session ended, then I began talking to people about whether they would support my candidacy, to find out where my friends and family and where I might find support. And I had very encouraging responses from people I started talking with, and then started talking with some of our elected leaders and earned endorsements, and made the decision to announce my candidacy today.
Were you planning to run against Congressman Wu, or were you running because Congressman Wu resigned?
I was planning to run for the 1st Congressional District, regardless of whether or not David Wu stayed in office or resigned.
His decision, I wonder, did you have any consultation with him? Did you reach out to him? Did you have any discussion?
No.
And did you at any point say he needed to step down?
I didn't say that because that's just not me. I'm not one for sort of grandstanding that way. Besides, at the time that discussion was going on, I was a potential candidate, and I didn't think that my saying anything would be anything other than perceived as self-serving. And finally, I don't think it would have made a difference. But don't get me wrong, I'm glad he resigned. I think it was the right thing for him to do. But what we need to do now is look forward and see who is the best person to represent this district, and that's why I'm putting my candidacy forward today.
Your opponents took a different tact in the Democratic field of calling for his resignation early on quite vocally. I'm wondering, the fact that you didn't call for his resignation, I heard why you just explained it. Would you expect to receive his support, being right now one of the only of the 3 candidates, the one who did not ask him to step down?
I don't expect to. I'm not asking for it, no.
What impact do you think his behavior, his resignation will have on this race, and particularly on the Democratic field?
Well, the impact his resignation will have is obviously to expedite the timing. I do think that people who want to have the continued discussion about David Wu are missing the whole point of the election, which is to move forward, to determine who is the best person to represent the district going forward. And I have a long history throughout my career of standing up for middle-class families, people with no voice, helping small businesses, and I believe I have those skills, and that's what the district needs. We need to work on creating a thriving economy where families can not only make ends meet, but also get ahead, where small businesses can compete successfully, where those who follow the rules are rewarded and those who don't are held accountable. And I believe that the record that I have over the years shows that I'm the best person for that representation, and that's what I want to do going forward. Look at who is best to represent this district.
And are there any specific achievable goals that you've set for yourself if you're elected?
If I'm elected, what I would like to do is obviously focus on jobs in the economy. That is the need in the district, that is the need across the state, and I believe that's what the voters will be looking for. And I do have a record of accomplishment in a way that is productive, and I've had results without being divisive, and that's what the voters are really looking for now. Somebody with principles. Anyone who's followed my career over the years knows that that's the kind of person I am. I've been very encouraged by the positive response that I've received as I've been out talking to people. And speaking of positive, that's the way I plan to run this campaign. It's the way I've run campaigns before. It's the kind of person I am. And I look forward to getting out and talking to the voters and telling them who I am, what I plan to do, and about my accomplishments, and earn their support.
With your focus on jobs and small business and growing that, I wouldn't imagine any of the candidates will say they were against that. So I would ask, how will you do that? How will you focus on jobs and small businesses?
Right. Well, one of the bills that I worked on in the Oregon legislature was to make sure that small businesses had access to capital. And that's an important part of what businesses need. I also want to make sure that Oregon has the strongest system of public education possible. I was an education advocate before I entered the legislature, and I believe that there's a connection between having a strong system of public education, pre-K through higher education, that will help to strengthen our economy.
Okay. You mentioned principles too, and I wonder, do you feel the candidates in this race, because it's not in a vacuum, I mean, the voters are going to have David Wu in their mind whether it's talked about or not. Do you think the candidates, their personal lives will be under heavier scrutiny in this election?
Perhaps, and that's politics. I know sometimes politics can be rough, but I'm moving forward with a goal of remaining positive and talking to the voters about who I am, my accomplishments, and what I plan to do for the district.
Tell me about the short time frame and how that impacts the race from your perspective and how you're doing fundraising-wise.
Right, terrific. The short time frame is obviously there is now a special primary and a special election. Those have been scheduled, the special primary for November and the special election for January. Then there will be 2 additional elections next year, the primary and the general in November. So 4 elections coming up. Just in the past 5 days since I decided I would be filing and making this announcement, I have managed to raise more than $200,000 from more than 150 donors. So I'm off to a very strong start. Already just in the first 5 days, I've had an outpouring of support from people who are willing to step up and support my candidacy. From the $2,500 I got from Bob Stoll, a lawyer in Portland, to the $25 I got from my son. So I have a broad range of support, and I'm looking forward to going out there and earning the vote of the constituents in Congressional District 1.
What's your reaction when you think about running 4 times in a year for the same seat?
I'm going to take my vitamins. I'm going to work hard. I'm aware that that's the structure that we have, that there will be the 4 elections, and that's what it's going to take to get there, and I'm willing to do the hard work.
Do you think who wins this special election on the Democratic side becomes the nominee for the 2012 election in the fall?
I hope so, and I hope that'll be me. I'll work hard to earn the vote of the constituents here in the district, and I know the importance of the primary, which is why I'm willing to work so hard to get there.
I think that's it for today, unless there's anything else you wanted to add at this point.
Thank you. No, I just thank you for coming in to talk with me, and I look forward to going out into the district and talking with people about the upcoming election and earning their support.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.